All right, so hey guys, this is Josh. I'm with Bane Tech. I got my friends here. I got Root Junkie
How's it going, guys?
and I got TK.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And we are finally coming back together from the Android barbecue. We have been meaning to do something, but it's like I sent out a message to the guys. I'm like, what about doing a live show tonight? It was like such last minute, but I was like, it's the last few days before we can squeeze in anything related to 2015. So we wanted to go ahead and, hey, let's do a top devices kind of video. I was planning on doing one anyways, but I figured why not bring in some friends and do something a little bit different from what everybody else is doing, and get some more insight. We can talk about what we're going to plan on talking about is our top devices, what we think are the best devices, what stood out to us, and that includes smartphones, smartwatches, tablets, or anything like that. I get more experience with the smartphone side of stuff, so I'll probably have more input with that. But and then we can talk about we'll wrap up the show with like what we're looking forward to in 2016, because that's as soon as 2016 hits, there's already stuff lined up to start coming out. So It's going to be a fun year to already get going. So with all that said, who wants to go first with? Do you want to go top 5 or top 3 of your best devices? It's honestly, it's a hard choice for me to make, but what's y'all's thoughts on the top devices of 2015?
Well, I have 2, so I don't know. I got 2 top devices.
I have to as well. I think I've had my share of testing different devices over this long year that's almost coming to an end. I'll hit it off right out the bat. I mean, and you guys saw this also, of course. The Note 5 for me is by far, I think, the top device I could ever get out of 2015. Now, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying from a functionality, feature set, battery life, rounded everything there. It performed well when we were at the barbecue. I loved all the performance that we got out of it, and the pictures were amazing. I think we even live streamed out of it, using it at the barbecue, with Josh's phone. So you guys could definitely attest to the quality there. So for me, number 1 would have to be. I'm going to have to say the Note 5, even though I'm very partial to my Nexus 6P. Overall performance, I'd have to say for me it's the Note 5 if I have to choose one. Nice. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but we'll start it off with saying, okay, Note 5 won. and Nexus 6P short second right there. Things.
All right, well, I'll give you my 2, and honestly, they are exactly the same 2 devices, the Nexus 6P and the Note 5. Really, I was on the Note 5, and when the Nexus 6P came out, I decided to switch over to it. I haven't switched back yet, but it's so difficult. And really the reason I think, for me at least, the Note 5 maybe ekes out a little bit ahead is, like you were talking about, TK, is the feature set. The S Pen and some of the functionality that you can do in TouchWiz, even though it's TouchWiz. I know everybody thinks to hate TouchWiz. Yeah. But some of the feature set is actually really, really cool. And so I like it. And the battery life is really good on it. Screen size, the screen is just amazing. Looks really, really good. Mm-hmm. So these are the kind of things that I'm at. So I'm torn. I like Nexus 6 because the 6P because of the stock Android firmware and all the updates and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I guess if I could get the Note 5 with a Nexus kind of feel to it, man, I'd be like awesome, like in heaven.
Very integrate the S Pen functionalities, because that's the thing with Samsung. You can't get any of those specialty S Pen things when you get a custom ROMs. You'd have to drop that right out of the bat. Mm-hmm. What about you, Josh? How are things for you? I mean, I know you've tried many devices, so it's
it's pretty much the same call. I mean, I give the edge to the Note 5, but it's such a close second with the Nexus 6P. Like I had tweeted out that I went back to the Note 5 as my personal device, and I was going to use my Nexus 6P as just like a secondary to basically like personal, and then the 6P with like Bane Tech related stuff. Like I don't have to log out of my Instagram account or something like that. But I honestly, if I'm around Wi-Fi, I'm using both devices just as much as the other. But, obviously I'll make the phone calls with whatever the SIM card's in. But I mean, I used the Nexus 6P since it was released.
Yeah, I remember you did like a daily challenge. You were posting almost
I did
every day.
a Nexus
all
November
all
challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
And I cheated a little bit because I wanted to get the Samsung promo, like the $50. That's my gift card. So
I got the email today. To do that. I just finally got the email today that I got approved for that. But yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, I had to get that. There's no way I was going to pass that up.
No.
And but that was like for like 2 days. But other than that, I used the Nexus 6P as my daily driver. I think I said the same thing or someone asked me about it on Google Plus, about he wanted me to include, because I said I was going to be doing my top 15 or 2015 video. I still got to do my Nexus 6P like full review. I still haven't done that. And I think there's one other video I mentioned I was going to do, but like someone commented asking me to put some input on why I went back to the Note 5. It's like, it's really, I'm not going back to it because I was using it just as much, but like 2 reasons. One, I wear a smartwatch and I'm doing a series on my channel with the ROM videos. And so it's like, this is the thing, like maybe we could touch on this in 2016. Android Wear needs to come up with a way to where you don't have to reset the watch every time you connect it to a new phone.
Yes,
and that's one of the main things of why I went back to my Note 5 is because I can just let this be my daily driver and not have to worry about resetting my watch every week. It's a first world problem kind of thing, but it's just a pain when you have to sit there and wait for it to update and all that kind of stuff. So that was another reason, but also just I plan to sell the Note 5 once the S7 comes out, so I can kind of offset the cost, because I'm pretty sure if the rumors are true that they're coming out with 2 different versions of like a 5.5 or 5.7 inch, like a larger screen one, that's the one I'll get, and that's the same equivalent size to the Note 5 anyways. And truth be told, I don't use the S Pen that much, so I think I'll still get the same experience with like the S7. As long as the battery life, if they fix the battery life, it can't be anything like the S6 was.
No.
But they definitely did a heck of a better job on the Note 5. I get really good battery life with it. I get better battery life with the 6P, and that's honestly one of the things that makes me lean towards, like I told Tom, we were chatting before, I'm like, it was just a day I've been on the Note 5, but like I just miss like stuff like the stinking battery life that's on the Nexus 6P. If Android 6.0 ever makes it to this phone, Doze is going to be so awesome on the Note 5. Like that's going to be dope. Dope Doze.
Yeah, I gotta say that the Nexus 6P, that's the feature that is probably my favorite feature about that device is Doze. The battery is great, and then the turbocharging and the Type-C USB is really nice. I really, really like it, and I can just charge that thing up 30 minutes, just plug it in, and it's like picks up at least 50%, and I'm rocking again. And it's just, that's really one of my big features about it. For me, battery life is really, really important, and I love that feature.
Speaking of battery life, I would definitely recommend unlocking that device and installing something maybe power nap, nap time, Unify. I can go on for hours, but no.
What are you saying? I need exposed? Come on.
I don't know. It's one of those things that, we definitely we can't argue, obviously, that, this is the best device. But my question would be, I guess, of all the other devices, since technically there's, a clear runner there, we don't have to worry about that. Of the other devices that you've tried, I know you, Josh, tried the Moto X. I think is a Pure Edition, right? And then have you guys tried the LG G4 earlier this year?
Hated the G4.
I had a mixed feeling about it. When I first got it, I was in love with the camera because the camera was really good. But the UI just kept killing it for me. I couldn't, I changed the launcher and I thought that was going to fix the problem, but no. Anytime you have to hit some type of setting or even go into the dialer, it just didn't make sense.
That's another perk about the Note 5, not to interrupt you, but that's another perk is that you have the theme store that you go into. My Note 5 doesn't look like TouchWiz at all. One, I got Nova Launcher on it, but then I have a material design. Just go into the settings real quick. That looks nothing like TouchWiz. That looks like stock Android. Yep. So that's another big perk about the Note 5. Exactly. It's something that the UI drove me crazy about the G4, but I'll go into my gripes about the G4 in a second. Let you finish.
Well, no. The reason I mentioned the G4 is because we have the V10 that came out later in the year. and it tried to address some of the issues. And as a device, a lot of reviews pushed it out saying that it was one of the better devices. The audio recording on it, the quality and everything, but it still has the same UI. It didn't lose that. It's like LG needs to kind of hire somebody from, Samsung or something. I don't know. I'm not saying Samsung is the best, but at least I think TouchWiz this year has had a better, it's smoother, it's easier.
All you have to do is go to Google Plus Themes community, and you got a ton of artists that would probably love to be hired by LG to fix that UI problem.
And just at least make it consistent. For the love of God, just make it consistent across the things. Do not use different themes and different apps and different setup. And anyways. But what about the Moto X? What do you think about that one?
Well, let me go to the G4. Since
Let's not leave
get my gripes out. One, I think it was a Verizon problem. I know Shane from Droid Moto X. Mm-hmm. He said he had the same problem. Like his wife used the G4, and I had lag problems, like really bad stuff. The battery life was bad. It would get warm. It was just like it. There was some really bad balance between hardware and software. For that version, like anybody that said different was not a Verizon phone. So I think,
I would say the same. I had extreme, like long life of battery on the G4. It was honestly by far some of the best battery life performance and no hiccups. But I was on T-Mobile, so different experience. I think Verizon sometimes has their hands in the actual ROM creation and all the things running in the background. So you almost want to strip all of that or deep load that.
Yeah. And which was disappointing because I really liked the G3 when I had it at that time. So it was weird.
It's one of those things, sometimes you have a hit, sometimes you don't. And then earlier in the year, I think LG even took a stab at the G Flex 2. Remember that thing that barely made it at CES 2015?
And it was such a big hyped up thing at CES. Like, this is the phone that everybody's going to be looking for.
Yeah, 1080, and it was a 1080p display. And I'm like, what? I went and checked it out. I held it in my hand. It felt good. It was small. It was curvy, obviously more curve, and it flexed very well. I just didn't see the benefit of it back at CES, and we'll see. Maybe in next CES, in a few days, actually next week, we may see something new.
Yeah, for sure. I did have the Moto X Pure. Actually,
yeah, that's what I was asking for both of you because I think both of you guys have used them.
I took my iPhone, which I have for work, and I got so tired of it. I took
that's exactly what I say about my iPhone.
I took the SIM card out and I said, forget this. And I stuck it in my Moto X Pure. So my work doesn't know that right now. Well, maybe they do, but so I use this thing now for work. It's just my own personal phone. But it's a really nice experience. I use it every day now. So I really do like the device. And for the price point, it's very solid. Unlockable bootloader. I mean, all those awesome features that you have with the Moto X Pure. And the Motorola software that's on there is very, very minimal, and it just adds features. It doesn't take away. I love it. It's basically stock Android plus cool features.
Well, they got smart. They figured why bog down the UI? Why do so much work to make it special? It's already special as it is. And expandable storage, you can't cry at that. That's one thing the Pure Edition. Yeah, that's that extra SIM slot there for to be able to add the memory. That's one thing we don't see as much. LG kept it on the removable battery, expandable storage. So maybe that's a good question. Both the devices that we said that were number one don't have removable back, don't have expandable storage. Yeah. How does that been for you guys? This year's been the year of a lot of people ditching expandable storage. It's a hard thing for me. I struggle with that on a daily basis.
Put it this way, like my Note 5 is a 32 gig version, so I have to manage it a whole lot more. With my 6P, it's a 64 gig version, and I really don't mind what's even on the phone. Like I know that it's not going to get filled up. But granted too, that I've actually used my Note 5 for a lot of videos on my channel. Like I got my DSLR or whatever, but the convenience and the quality that the Note 5 actually puts out, because it actually has good sound too. Like I haven't had to go in and like mix in sound or clean up any audio because it's really good. So but with that said, storage is very hard to come by. So as soon as I do any kind of videos on it, I've got to take it off of the phone and put it onto the computer or whatever. But like with the 6P, like what you're saying, it's like 64 gigs is like my happy medium. Like I don't think I need any more, but I don't want any less. But I'm not going to pay that extra $100 for the 64 on the Note 5.
Exactly.
But I'll pay the extra $50 for the next up for like a 6P or the Moto X. But with the Moto X, like what you're saying, like you could get the 16 gig model and save that money. And I've got like, 3 SD cards that I could put in it if I wanted to. So I guess, we gave the points to the Note 5 and the 6P, but I guess I don't know. It's a hard decision to is this really a deal breaker anymore, or is it? I think it's just I adapt to whatever I have is the best way I can put it, I guess.
That's the best way to look at it. I think this is the year of getting everybody used to and trained to not have expandable storage. For me, at least with the 6P, I went with the 128 gig. That's the first time I've ever bought a device that had, and I bought it.
That's a lot.
And the reason, so this is my thought, and everybody was like, well, why did you get the 128? First thing I knew I was going to unlock it, I was going to basically flash Torp right out the back and get it rooted. But I back up many devices and I back up my storage. So let's say in this example, when you, Josh, you're doing your reviews and you're doing things, you're doing them on a second device that doesn't have your SIM card in it. For me, I do them on my main device. So what I do is I back up, install the new ROM, do whatever I need to do, and I need to be able to get out of it. And then sometimes with all my media on it, some of my backups are on 10 to 12 gigs. So imagine that on a 32 gig or even on a 64, you're going to run out of space right away.
That's true.
If you consistently churn and change your device, ROM all the time and don't have to jump back, you don't have a problem. So for me, I said, I'll pay the extra for the 128 because I can see this device with me at least through next year's Nexus. Yeah. So I needed the storage. And for me, I do minimal video editing. There's a couple of apps that I use on it. If I just need to do cut and paste, connect things and just do a simple transition, I can actually produce a video out of my Nexus 6P. It has enough storage and horsepower. So that's one thing I like.
Nice. Yeah, I got to say, when it comes down to, figuring out what's device, like the removable battery, the storage, for me, the way I look at it is my devices aren't going to get used more than about 4 months because I'm going to get something new probably.
Exactly.
So when I look at a device, I'm not really looking at those features. I'm not getting a phone for 2 years, like maybe a lot of people are. So if you're really getting a phone for 2 years, you probably want to have a replaceable battery because your battery is eventually going to burn out. You probably want to have expandable storage because you're going to fill that thing up. So those are features that you got to look at depending on what you're going to get. Some people now, a lot of people are getting a phone every year. You can do a lot of those programs to get a phone every year with your carrier. So for those people, maybe you don't need that because your battery normally lasts you a year and your storage might hopefully last you that long. So it just depends on what you're planning on doing with your phone and how long you're planning on using it for as if those features are really important. So for me, they're just not because I don't use my phone more than 6 months tops.
Yeah.
I get a different one.
I get the itch to get a new phone every month. It's like...
I have gotten a phone every month sometimes. Yeah, so. It actually gets annoying because you got too many.
Funny.
It's both a blessing and a curse at the same time. Yeah. If you think about it in that sense, it's great, but on the other end, you always have to okay, now I got to change. I got to put a new device, new SIM card, change it over, and on average, I mean, if one thing is I haven't had an iPhone. I'm not gonna lie, since almost the 3GS, and I'm hating myself for getting this for work, and I don't know how to explain this. But that's a different video for a different day.
I'm the same way. It's like I'm a social media coordinator for work, and I was like, I guess you guys, because they all get iPhones, so I was like, just give me the the 6 Plus or whatever, it'll be fine. And then it's just like simple stuff like sharing something is a pain in the butt. I guess that could be a whole other video for another time, but I'm not going to even mention about an iPhone being a top device because iOS. I don't like iOS at all. It's not. It's just. I mean, it's good if you're stuck in that and that's the only thing you ever know. But once you honestly if you experience something like this, it's just life is so much easier. Especially if you're a content creator, if you're sharing stuff, if you're on social media, so much better on an Android device, especially a powerhouse like a Note 5 or 6P or Moto X Pure Edition and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just to me, it's almost like going a step backwards when I held it. But that was, and everybody at work were like, "What did you get an iPhone at? Are you converting? Are you leaving the camp or something?" I said, "No, I'm not. I made a mistake, but I have it now."
You got a spy in the background.
He's doing a cameo. It's one of those. He'll do the finish at the end. He'll jump out with a couple of phones and balance them.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's one of those things. But maybe I guess that kind of leads us to the major other mobile devices, wearables. Obviously, all three of us have Android Wear-based devices and so on. And I'm sure at least Josh, I know, has tried other non-Android wearables. What's your best experience so far this year? I mean, what's your daily driver right now? I guess what do you have on your wrist?
I've got the LG Bane. I found an awesome deal locally. Like I came out on top. Like I made money off of the deal that I made. So I've been using it, and I would love to get the Huawei watch or maybe like the new Moto Sport that's coming out. But at the same time, it's like nice. It's the watch is fine. I'll just change the watch band and I'll be okay. Just change the look of it or something. But that's what I've been using for a long time now. I had the Moto 360 before it. I've tried some of the cheap budget ones that work with anything. And if you're just stuck with money, either just suck it up and save up some more money, or you can get by with that kind of stuff. You're going to get notifications. I tried it for about a week or so, but when you experience a flagship smartwatch, it's pretty hard to compare it to anything else.
Definitely.
I've put my hands on the Apple Watch and stuff like that. I mean, if you're willing to spend the money, do that. But there's actually better options out there now for you. I think the Huawei watch works with iPhones now. Moto 360 does. You're not going to get the full functionality as if you're using it with Android. But to me, a smartwatch has got to look like a watch, and that's my biggest thing about it. So I've seen other ones out there. I put my hands on stuff, but I'm happy with the LG Bane. It's not the second edition either. I got a friend of mine, John Burke, that's on Google Plus. He's he has every single stinking smartwatch.
Everything under the sun.
I asked him the other day, what he thought was the best smartwatch, and I figured he'd be the most qualified to even ask that question. And he said the Urbane too. But the thing is that it was only available because something went wrong with it, or some of the batches went wrong.
Yeah, they recalled it due to display issues, and he actually picked it up before it was recalled. It was maybe even the morning of the recall.
Right. So he got that, but he says it's the best. It's the best smartwatch you can get if you can get it. I don't know what the technical problems were with it, but if money wasn't an option, I probably would just go out and get the Huawei watch.
Yeah,
I would. Yeah. Just for
Tom,
the sake
what's your
of
thought
being
on
up to date.
Yeah, I've actually got the Huawei watch, so I'm wearing right here. I really do like it. I've had experience, I had the LG G watch when it first came out. I got the Moto 360 when it came out. And then I got this Huawei watch. So I've had a couple different ones. I got the Samsung Gear too, that one, when it came out. So I've had some experience with Android Wear, but I don't know. What I'm finding is there's not really a lot of difference between all these different watches. They all run the same Android Wear. Software's the same.
This one.
So it's really just which look do you like? That's really what it boils down to. Because the software is the same. They're all getting the same updates.
This one tells me I'm Bane every day.
So you don't have the right? Yeah, your Bane. Okay.
So unless you're going to go with some of the Gear watches or something that have have Tizen on them from Samsung, that's really your only variance here. You either get Android Wear or you get Tizen, and that's what you're dealing with. Unless you want to get some off-brand junk watch, in my opinion. I've seen some, and I've played with some.
I got some too. Yeah.
We got Nate over here on the chat. He's asking about the Zen Watch too. Have any of you guys messed around with that?
Yeah, no, I have not.
I haven't actually picked up the Zen Watch too. I've seen a lot of good things on it, but I didn't pick it up. But as you said, I mean, if anything else, it's really, it's the shell, right? Everything else, pretty much same experience. We're not looking at anything that has additional functionalities like NFC. That's something that should be in there by now. I don't know why. I mean, so my experience. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, there was a lag. I thought you were done. I'm sorry. There is one thing the big difference that I saw between, or there's two differences, but the big difference that I saw between the Moto 360, the first generation, and the Urbane was battery life. The Moto 360, it would get me through my work day, but definitely not through my entire day. I would have to put it on the charger as soon as I got home if I was going to go out and do anything else. Fortunately, it charged pretty fast. But with the Urbane, if I wanted to, I could come home, shut it off when I'm at home because I don't necessarily need it. And I could use it the next day and still get it to the end of the next business day. So battery life was a big difference, and that's what I appreciate about it. And I probably want to go back to even the Moto 360 second generation because it's got a smaller battery than what I got now. And the ambient display was a different thing, or like the way that, the flat tire on the 360 changes the way that the display is made. But I'll leave mine on like brightness 4 and it does fine. Like it doesn't drain the battery. It's not too bright, not too dim. But yeah, that was a big thing that I noticed and something I would look for in another watch if I was going to get one. The battery life has got to be as good as the Urbane.
Definitely. But the 360 was also plagued with many other technical issues. Like I'm sure Tom can explain, can attest to the how to figure out how to connect to the 360 using the USB pins. I tried to follow your video, bro. I couldn't do it. I just did not want to go that far. But it was, they chose bad processor, the bad display quality. It was, I think its main appeal that it was a sexy watch. I'm just going to it's really, that's what it was. Out of all the watches that came out last year in the 2014,
it was amazing. Yeah.
It was by far the best looking one. You had that endless feeling. The band went inside the watch. I think that's what it was.
And it kind of goes back to the Zen Watch too. That's something that when you bring that up, the way it looks, the Zen watches, they have such a big bezel. It's not attractive to me. So that's another reason why I never really looked at those watches.
It's one of those things. Yeah, you gotta like what you wear. It's when you buy a watch, you buy it because that's how it looks. You don't buy it because it tells you time differently than the other watch. Right? You buy it because of the way you want it to look on your arm. I mean, I like this, and if I didn't buy it with the metal band, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have went with something else. And if you guys remember at the Big Android barbecue, I was actually working with
you were too.
Yeah, so I did dual watches. I was testing out both the Tizen version of the Gear S2. Which has NFC, which is another thing that kind of got me into it. But
you still have that watch?
No. I actually, when Samsung announced that they were pushing Samsung Pay off the S2 to 16, which was the only reason why I decided to pick it up in the first place, I said, this is a joke. It's basically not something that they're serious about. Samsung Pay is gaining a lot of popularity, and I loved. So just the thing, Tizen OS isn't bad. It's just not optimized. It's a great step in the direction that Samsung needs to be for wearables. The watch with the spinnable bezel was amazing. I think it worked well. It was amazing. I couldn't justify something that the only reason why I bought it was the NFC. It has it built in. It's supposed to support it. Sorry, and it got pushed out. Samsung doesn't care about it. It was a feature they talked about, so I said no. And the Urbane works beautifully, as you said. A day and a half for me at least. For the Huawei watch, I can get about 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
I don't go brightness 4. I go brightness 3, and I keep the ambient display on. I get good almost 2 days solid. By the end of the second business day, I can put it on the charger and it's done.
Yep.
It is what it is, and all those I'm going to call them other watches that are compatible or whatever. I would call them just the knockoff versions of what they look. They're good for the budget if you want them, but they're really at the end of the day, just get a nice watch. If you can afford the flagship of this year, you know what? They're cheaper for the ones from last year.
Right.
You can pick up a 360. Swappa is a great place to go pick up your watches. So I'm not trying to plug Swappa, but I go there every month.
You just
It's a great
did.
place to
I'm going to
get
get my
any
shirt on,
devices.
okay?
Yeah, I'll go switch up. I still remember the picture you guys took from the swap-up chair at the barbecue, guys. So
Exactly.
the throne of phones.
The phone throne.
The phone thrones. What about tablets? Have you guys, I know we talk a lot about like mobile devices, but tablets we've had a few tablets come out. Obviously the one that, Tom is every single day is putting a video on at this point. Hey man, I'm working on a video that's going to use your tool soon, so
You better.
I gotta
Put me some props.
well,
in
no,
there.
it makes no sense. I wanted to do it basic manual way of rooting it, installing and everything, and I thought about it, and I said, he already put the batch files in, he already put the script in, everything is set up, it's packaged, it's a one download kind of thing, literally 2 to 3 button push, and go get it straight from rootjunkie.com. There's no reason why you don't want to do it. Not that I'm trying to plug it in. I just honestly, for me, I'm trying to make it simple. And I've had a few requests for people asking for it. So I figured, why not? But I mean, as far as tablets, I recently picked up the Pixel C.
Yes.
It's a nice tablet. It's a fast tablet, very nice tablet, missing a lot of different things. But have you guys used any tablets? Any other, have you picked up a tablet this year? Flagship tablet or a high-end tablet or something like that?
I haven't done any flagship stuff. I put my hands on them, like friends and stuff, to see if I wanted to get flagship, because I was kind of in a market to get one. We've had an iPad mini for a while, and I'm like, I want a bigger size. I'm just ready for the bigger size. But I just kind of held off this year, and I thought about getting the Nexus 9, but I wasn't too flattered with some of the reviews I was seeing, so I just kind of held off on it. And then I started seeing rumors about like a second edition Nexus 7, so I was like, I think I might just hold out for that one because I liked the Nexus 7. I just sold it for a long time ago, but I don't use tablets that much, and so it's not that big of a deal to me. But I didn't really do too much with tablets this year, except for
it's a weird year.
Cheap like Chinese ones sent my way, but I'll let the kids use it.
That was another thing. I've seen a few reviews. Yeah, definitely.
I'll let the kids use it because I don't care if it gets messed up. Just to be honest, if something happens to it, oh well. But then also, there's some other cool stuff that you can do with those kind of tablets too, and I plan to try to make some kind of video with it, is that you can make it a secondary monitor to like a DSLR. Like you can do stuff like that.
Oh, yes.
So
Chain fire. Yes, exactly. You read my mind.
So
chain fire.
I'm hoping to get something like that put together pretty soon, and like actually put some good use to those tablets, because I got two that I use, but then when I get them in, I end up giving them away because for giveaways and stuff. They're good tablets, but they get the job done, and no real complaints about it. It just depends on what you want out of them.
It's tough to justify a tablet when your devices are close to it. Like the Nexus 6e or Nexus 6, if you think about it, is an inch away from a Nexus 7. Why pay that much more? But it's a tough market. Apple has this pretty much cornered. There's not much really to kind of go around them. They got their tablets in the market, and everybody, they'll get the Android tablet. I mean, I personally have the Android tablet for my son, and that's the same thing. I get some of those. I got like a Windows Android tablet one time, and I gave that to my wife. It's one of those things that it hasn't been big this year, and I don't know if 16 is going to be a bigger year for us for tablets, and we're going to see something that comes out that kind of just like, wow. The Pixel C was in major. The easy way to say it is it's a major disappointment to release it in a year where it wasn't meant to be released. It's missing a lot of different things. Multi-window. Heck, man, come on.
On a tablet, that's a must.
Yeah, especially at 10.2 inch tablet with that level of resolution, you got to put multitasking or some type of multi-window, something that just gives it more of a reason to say it's different than a device. The few differentials in there with the X1 chip, they're great. You can play better games, but it's unfortunately been kind of a dull year for tablets. Devices, smartphones, and smartwatches have had much bigger leaps and bounds. We've seen major retailers pick up on Android Wear. Tag Heuer released, that watch that they want to spend money for and then spend money again. But to me, I think is 16. I guess maybe that's a better way to segue there. What do you guys think about 16? I mean, what's your excitement other than the S7? Since that one we all kind of know. We're all waiting. We're etching on that one. When is the Galaxy S7 going to come out? Are you looking for anything else? Do you think LG will make it? Is Motorola going to keep hitting out of the park? Or I'll leave the HTC one for you.
I think I see the same trends as this year, which is a good as far as like the good trends going on. I see Motorola still getting better. I still see Samsung getting better. Huawei, come on! I mean, like they definitely get the award of like the most improved company of the year by far. But it's like I got the Nextbit Robin that I pre-ordered that, or I was a backer for that Kickstarter. So I'm really looking forward to that phone because it's a whole new concept of how a phone operates, like cloud-based kind of stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting. They encourage putting CyanogenMod on it, so that's cool already. It's just fun stuff like that. But like what I was saying with like software, I think software is going to be a big deal with like stuff like Android Doze on the Note 5. Like that. Oh man, yeah. Oh my gosh! Like if the if the S7 comes out with Android 6.0, that's gonna be freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Like that phone will be so dang hard to beat. It'll be the Note 6 to beat that phone, in my opinion. Like if Android 6.0 on a Note device is just freaking going to be amazing.
I've seen some leaks on the, I think was it the S6 Edge running 6.01, and it looks really good. What about HTC? Do you think HTC is going to be around next year?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Me and Bane were talking about
here's
that.
Here's the new HTC device, by the way. I'm just right there.
I got that.
It's a leak. Don't call it. It's a leak. It's right there. This is an HTC.
No, I'm with you guys. I mean, honestly, that's funny. I mean, HTC. Like this year, I had my M8, and my M8 was a great device, and I sold it. I had an M9. I made like 2 videos on it, and I sold it because it's just nobody's interested in it. It's the same. It's boring. There's nothing new. They need to really come out with something like different. They can't just come up with the same thing. We gotta change. You know,
you can't boast about the front-facing speakers anymore.
Right.
Everybody has. That's the thing. Yeah,
that's the only thing they had going for them. And the metal build body, that was awesome. That's great. But when the experience sucks, I mean, you just got snuffed out pretty much.
Well, and the camera too. They're not even competing on the camera front. Not even competing.
They're not even trying. That's the thing. They're not even trying. It's just. It's almost like we just need to put in the we did our best. We did something kind of thing, but they don't even try. And if they just listen to the market, they just see basically how sales. I mean, heck, just look at what's selling. I mean, if you don't even listen to your supporters or people that want to buy your device, just see what sells in the market. You see that what you're doing is wrong. Ultra Pixel didn't make it. Then they put the Ultra Pixel camera in the front, and then they put the boom, and then they took out the boom sound with the was it the X9? It just made no sense.
Yeah.
The one thing that people did like about it. So hopefully, maybe. I mean, you guys were there too. Remember at the barbecue, we all held the HTC phone. We were like, "Really?" It's like
no. Everybody made fun of it. I mean, that's the first reaction. Like when you get made fun of when you bring out a product like that, that's not going to go over well.
Right.
I mean,
no, and it's tough. And hopefully, LG will put in some good headways and hire better designers. I mean, hey. They gotta do something. I mean,
like I said, LG. If you ever see this video, like seriously, go to Google Plus. There's tons of themers out there that I'm pretty sure you could just pick them up and just do better than what you're doing. And
or even just definitely.
And that brings up your point, like with like Motorola. Like I think one of the thing that I don't think I even got the Moto X 2014. Because one, the screen size isn't really what I like, and then two, this camera was bad. But this year, like you heard Motorola say, or Levano, the mix of the two, say we're going to concentrate on the camera. We're going to bring you a good camera, and they delivered. I think it's a great camera. Arguably, I think it's better than the Nexus 6P in some forms and fashions, especially the video quality.
No, they've done a lot of work, and but forgot to ask actually, Tom, what is your daily driver right now? What's that one device that you go to every day?
Well, right now I'm using my Nexus 6P. That's going to be where's my Nexus 6P? Oh, it's in my pocket. Too many phones on the desk. I'm using that. I'm using that phone right now, and then I'm using my Moto X Pure as my work phone. So I carry 2 phones every day: my work phone and my personal phone. Like I said with Bane, I'm right about to change back to my Note 5, mainly because I'm probably going to unlock the bootloader and start doing some videos on my Nexus devices. So when I do that, I try to not use it as my daily driver because I'm playing with it and doing all kinds of stuff with it. I switch over to another phone while I'm making videos. So that's one of the reasons. But also, I kind of want to go back to it because I really did enjoy that. That experience was really good.
The camera is really good. I found in low light conditions, it performed better than the Note 5. And that's just because of the low light, the sensor, the 1.55 micron sensor that we have on the 6P. So it's for me at least, it is my driver right now. About a week and a half ago, I turned off my Note 5, mostly because I I wanted to try out the 6P. I wanted to see how it could do with it. I've had it as a secondary device, as kind of Josh says, where it's on Wi-Fi, it's connected, but it's just not the one with a SIM card in it.
Right.
And it works well. The connection to Band 12. Once we got the latest update to the 6P, I have Band 12 connection on T-Mobile. It's flying. I'm uploading videos to YouTube like 1.5 gigs in literally 12 minutes.
Nice.
I was uploading it. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even do it on the home connection anymore. Just go straight up. Copy that to the phone, upload it. Don't even bother. At home, it takes like an hour or whatever. But so for me, Band 12, and I think is really, really good. And I'm hoping the Note 5 will have Band 12 unlocked on it pretty soon. For me, at least on T-Mobile. But for you, Josh, I guess what's your words of wisdom for the end of 2015? I guess what would you say is that one memory you want to keep us going on with?
Man, just tech related. Because we can get real deep here for a second.
Let me go grab something. I'll be right back. We can just sit down and. Yeah. No, from 2015. I mean, you've done a lot. You've improved. Your channel's grown a lot this year. Same with you, Tom. You guys have done a lot of good stuff. Definitely a great experience meeting you guys at the barbecue. I have to say. In not trying to plug in the barbecue, but it was a lot of fun running into you guys. I know I was busy a lot of times. You guys saw me running the whole time. It was an experience. I love it. I can't miss it. I'm already ready to go next year. But I just, for me, I guess I'll start it off. I'll just spread it this way. For me, 2015 has been a year of, we've seen basically where people have made mistakes. People have grown. People have gotten better. We got new players like Huawei into the market. We've got old players like OnePlus that just keep digging a bigger hole. That's you can almost make an entire episode on OnePlus, but that's for me. And old time players that are trying to kind of stay afloat. HTC is trying hard. It's tough. And I would say hopefully 2016 is a better year for all of them. It's a leap year, so hopefully they'll get some luck with that extra day. I'm just saying hopefully new Android Wear, better devices, better compatibility with Android. I'd like to see Android Wear, like you said, not have to be reset every time you have to connect it to another phone. There's no reason for that because it's not really redoing that much to the OS. It's just syncing contact. But that for me would be just maybe innovation as opposed to just steps.
Yeah,
that would be for me for 2016 and 15.
Yeah, 2016 I think needs to be the year of software by far.
Yeah,
because the hardware is there, you could stop with what you have right now, and that's been I think I've meant it on a show that I used to do with Bane Tech Live. Me and David made a point of that the biggest struggle and Android has gotten better this year, and I say they kind of fixed that with the Note 5 and the 6P, is that there's been a tough balance between hardware and software. And I think that's where iPhone has actually excelled pretty well because they never outdo themselves on hardware, but their software works. It works. I'm not saying it's got the best features and stuff like we talked about earlier in the show, but it pretty much flawlessly works as far as the ratio goes. So
that's just because they wait 2 years after the hardware is released to put it in the phone.
Yeah. It works for them. So whatever. I still don't like using it, but as far as 2000, I think you'd really hit it on the head. TK by 2015 is that we saw a lot of growth in the tech world on the fan side of stuff, and then also with the companies. I mean, Motorola, they stepped it up. Everybody's been waiting for them to step it up. I think the next thing, if they could, it sucks that they made them. To me, the Nexus 6 was a bad design with them. I didn't have a good experience with that phone. But I would say if they were to make another Nexus phone, it could be a pretty good one. I think I made the comment. There's a couple others that made the comment that the Moto X Pure Edition was what the Nexus 6 should have been.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think a lot of people share that same opinion. But anyways, a lot of growth. We all grew. And the other thing I really appreciated about was just being able to actually grow some of the friendships that we've had here. And I think that's what's really helped our channels out and stuff like that. It's been fun, just doing collaborations. The barbecue was you can ask Marshall. Me and Marshall went last year. We met TK, but it was just a very like slight acquaintance. That was about it.
It was like initially a step one kind of thing.
But like this year, the barbecue is so much more fun because we had all our tech heads together, just having a good time. And
That's
then
awesome.
It makes me want to do more events. Like I want to like try to make plans to hopefully go to both the barbecue and CES next year and be able to even meet more people.
CES, let's do CES.
That's where I'm going next week.
Stop bragging, TK.
But like,
I'm packing right now. No.
Max Lee will be there. You know, all the top guys that you normally see on every channel is going to be there. But not to mention some companies. Like it'd be cool to put some faces to names. But anyways, like for 2016, as far as like tech goes, I'm really looking forward to software. I think software definitely needs to step it up, as TK and both mentioned about Android Wear. That's where it's going to step up, and then also like with phones. Like I'm saying, with Android 6.0 with Samsung devices, that's going to be like fantastic. I think it's going to make just the user experience so much better. I don't think we're going to have as many devices that were just a pain to have, like you couldn't wait to get rid of, like we did this last year, last couple of years.
Yeah. I gotta say, there's a couple things that I really want to see in 2016. One of them that I really, really want is I want Android to have theming built in stock. I want that built in to Android so that when you go in there and you want to theme it, it's already designed that way. And so then you could just have so much customization. So that's really huge. I really, really want that. The other thing that I would really like to have would be just on your Android Wear devices. I want to see more development going into these. I feel like there's so much more that you can do. And I just feel like Google's not really focusing on it right now. And I would love to see a lot more with that for sure. What was the other thing? Also, the doze features, just more development in that. I find there's a little bit of lag when it's coming out of doze mode when you first power it up on my Nexus 6P. So if they can just smooth that out a little bit of cleaning up some stuff there, then that doze feature would just be super solid. So that's definitely another one that I would want in there. And then obviously multi-window, again, stock Android should be part of it, especially on the tablet. It just needs to be.
Oh, definitely. They're promising that Android N/Nougat, whatever that's going to be called, and will have multi-window, which is promising. But they've been saying that for years. Mm-hmm. And then luckily, I mean, you could unlock. And then get multi-window on your, on the Nexus 6P or anything else right now, but it doesn't function the right way. It's a hacked process, but definitely. I look forward to the same thing as you, Tom, and the same thing with you, Josh. It's one of those things that you gotta, hope for, and then, we'll see how every company, puts their take into it, because, they still, OEMs still have to put in their flavoring. Yeah. We never get vanilla Android all the time unless we get a Nexus.
Yeah, right. The hardware's there. It's about software now. I mean, I've got this $300 new mobile phone, which is a brand new company. Hardware's there. Software is pretty good. But I mean, it's like, if this guy can compete with another phone, I don't know. Anyways, that's a whole other video for another time.
I was going to say, that would be another process.
Wrap it up anyways. But yeah, I think 16 needs to be about software for sure.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we'll have to work it out, and I'm not going to try to boost it too much. But if you guys have anything that you want to look for, I'm going to be there for a couple of days at CES next week. I think Tuesday and Wednesday. Keep a lookout. I'll post a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, it's XDA sponsored, so definitely one of those things I got to go do there. And but I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping to run into Marquez. I ran into him a couple of years back, so it'll be fun.
Cool.
Maybe Max Lee. I'll take a couple of pics there too, and like you said, all the big tech guys are out there. Yeah, we're like, hi on Android. Sorry, you gotta kills me every time. No, but he's definitely fun to watch. I think that's the appeal. It's fun to watch, and he does a lot of content. Really cool guy.
And we'll just end the show with a couple plugins. I'm not sure if you're part of this, TK, and you can be if you want at last minute. We've got an Android file host giveaway coming up New Year's. So it's going to be a big one. Lots of prizes to be won. So you can stay tuned to at least my stuff, my channel, website and stuff, and also Root Junkie. I'm pretty sure you can get added in on it too, TK, if you wanted to.
No, definitely. Yeah, count me in.
All right. We'll contact Roy.
We'll get up with Roy with you, or you can send him a message. You got his contact stuff too, right?
I'll hit you. I'll hit you guys up afterwards.
Okay,
I have to dig it up.
anyways, there's going to be another big giveaway to start off the year 2016. So that's another thing to look forward to.
That's exciting, guys.
And yeah, so 2015, only a few more days left. So enjoy it. And if you have, like, if you're watching this, share this video with your friends and family. We're going to be uploading this video to YouTube on all our channels. And we'll catch you guys on our next videos. And stay tuned for more live shows soon.
Definitely. You guys have a great year. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year. Hope to a better 2016. Not to say 15 was bad. It's a great kickoff. I think 16 will be better.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later.
You got to do your outro.
Oh, yeah.
See ya.
Oh, man, that's the best way.
Hit that X button.
Cool.